Welcome, everybody, to Pro League down here live in the Nexon Arena. My name is Valdez. Joining me today is Moonglade. How are you doing, buddy?
Just fine, Valdez. I'm doing absolutely great. Very excited for today. StarTale-yoe versus KT to start things off. Some pretty David versus Goliath matches we have today.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. It's gonna be pretty one-sided, I feel like, in both two matches. We could have some upsets. We had a bunch of upsets last week as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens once again.
I'm thinking that might just be the case, Valdez. And I mean, even yesterday we got some upsets. Look at that, 0-5, -10 indicator. Things clearly went wrong this round for StarTale, and now they're going to be playing against one of their old boys. It's Life starting things off.
Seems like Life and Hack, pretty good friends. Even the Monday cast are like looking expectingly to see how friendly they would be.
Yeah,
they were pretty friendly.
Well, I mean, Life's been with this team for years, right? So
of course,
he had to leave for the money, aka KT. He's got to do things for himself, man. He's clearly worth to be on one of the top tested teams. And
oh yeah,
he got picked up finally, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting match just because they are old friends. But I'm sure Life's not going to give him an inch.
Life's not going to hold back at all, man. I fear for Hack's life. We saw Life versus Bravo actually last week, and that was a pretty good match. Actually, it made the top 5 of last week's Pro League matches, and it was a pretty long one. Bravo actually gave him a run for his money, but in the end, Life was just too good.
Well, I kind of was a bit disappointed by the end of that game. Life seemed he was just actually bored. Like, he just couldn't kill Bravo, so it dragged out just a little bit further. Here's a look at the lineups. Life versus Hack, Zest versus Daisy, Stats versus Alive, and then Flash versus Pet, which might be the closest one we have here if it gets to a Game 4.
Yeah, the predictions for today, not the most exciting ones, Moonglade, just to be honest. I think the only prediction that was different was that Flash versus Pet one.
Right.
Everybody else voted for the same people for every other matchup. So that kind of tells you where we're going with today. And even in that last matchup, I think I was the only one to vote for Pet, which is like,
yeah, I think you were
pretty intense, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, with good reason. Pet has beaten a lot and played very well against Lord Terrans in recent times, where Flash only just recently got annihilated by Lenok 3-1 in Star League. So
yeah. He had that one win against Deer, but to be honest, I think the only reason he won was because Deer played like utter crap, just to be totally frank in that game. I was actually kind of mad with him because I predicted him and he just like dropped the ball so hard. I was like, oh no.
He definitely kind of gave it away, unfortunately, but you know, it's the best of one. These things can happen.
Here are the team rankings, guys. The biggest thing you should notice, actually, is that CJ Antis is on top with a 6-0, undefeated, plus 14. I don't know if we've had a team be that far ahead in the past couple of years here in Pro League.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't remember I don't think SKT ever got close to that sort of lead last year.
They were like plus 12, I think, 5-1 maybe,
right.
But this is like a whole nother level. They're undefeated.
They're actually doing insane. They did great yesterday, and I mean, they got, what, one match left before we go into the playoffs for this round? And
yeah, I think it's Jin Air, actually. So that is a very hard match for them for the finals, but they're just looking so strong, especially on the backs of these two boys here, man. Hero and Biel just carrying the team right now. Yeah. And even Byung down there at the bottom, like, he's gotten a lot of wins for the team as well.
Yeah, they have a great set of players this round. They've all been doing very well. Hero finally back in form. We saw him last year. Biel, he was the ace last year for his last team, but this year he's finally found momentum. 9-4, he's doing absolutely fantastic. And Young, always a strong Terran.
Yep. Another story here is Losira. He was able to defeat Innovation yesterday. That is a pretty big feat. And just looking better and better every time we see him is Losira there. Also, another notable name up there that I want to say is Stats. He's 8-2. That's actually a pretty insane win ratio right now.
Oh, yeah. That is fantastic. And, oh, look at that ratio.
Oh! I'm no longer tied with you, man.
Moonglade is getting ahead, man. Up 1.1%. Damn.
The thing that makes me happiest about this, like, obviously Moonglade, great job, but
thanks,
we're above 60% now. Yeah. I feel like we're all, we're going up and up and up. We're not falling behind.
No, we're getting ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing even better these days. Here's Life. He's been doing quite well. Just in general, but I feel like also once he joined KT, he had a couple of rough, games just in Pro League only. Like, he was still pretty successful across the board. He won GSL and stuff. It's a pretty big feat, but still kind of like wavering on the ground here on this team of KT in Pro League.
Well, I think like he's gone through a big transitional period where he is learning a kind of a new style, which is the Kesper ways, and they really teach you the core mechanics above all else, which is what we did see from Life when he first joined the team. And here is Hack. It's a pretty interesting song.
Mother Pig and Baby Pig.
Well, 0-3 against Byung and Kode. Lost to first in the round 1 of SSL qualifiers. Lost to Maru and Deer in his last 2 Pro League games. Not the best stats going into this one, especially against someone like Live.
Yeah. He does get Overgrowth, and I think he's going to mech here. He's done it one time before. I forget the Zerg he was playing against, but he looks decent. And let's see how Life is going to respond to this, or even if he does go for that. Let's jump into game number 1 here, guys. It's Life versus Hack on Overgrowth. Up here in the top right in the red for KT Rolster is Life.
Down here in the bottom left for StarTale, it is Hack. Now, will Hack try something a little crazy, a little cheesy? He might have to against someone like Life. Life loves those big, juicy macro games where he gets to go into the Lingbane Muter sort of style on the 4 base, try and kill them like we did see him against Bravo. Bravo, yeah, he did last a long time, that's for sure. He really played a pretty defensive game. It looks like Life kind of got impatient, actually, during that game. I can't remember Hack's style exactly, which is one thing that's kind of escaping me right now. I didn't go back and watch Hack's TVZ, as he hasn't played me in quite a while. So I'm wondering if he could even bust out the mech.
Yeah, I mean, that game that I was mentioning, it could have actually even been from last season. Like, that's how long it might have been. I don't remember exactly when that was, but I mean, he does have the ability to go for it, but is that a style that he's playing these days? You know, maybe he's more comfortable with Bio these days. We don't really know. We don't get to see him that often. And the one thing I want to mention, especially against Life, is that when you face one of these like monster players, the players that are winning championships, that are doing extremely well, like Life, Hero, Maru, those guys, you just got to throw them out of their element. You can't let them play their game. Maybe you will win like 1 game out of 10 against this guy, but you still do have a chance, and you got to play by your rules, not just like follow exactly what that guy wants to do, kind of like Bravo did, you know? Like you were saying, he was kind of just playing defensive, just like surviving, holding on, and he gave like a decent game. Yeah. But at the end of the game, he still lost, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't really make that big push to actually defeat Life.
I mean, yeah, I agree that you got to kind of take things into your own hands against these players who do have very set styles, but Life is also so good at playing just straight up scrappy games or going to that macro game. He's going to be very aggressive, and one of the strengths of Life's style is the fact that he will put you on tilt, he'll put you out of rhythm, and he will like kind of gain the momentum from there simply with speedlings and counterattacks and just highly aggressive multitasking. Yeah. So it's really hard for Hack to kind of find a way in, but I guess if anyone could do it, it would be an ex-teammate.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. You know, he probably knows Life in and out, and I'm sure he did a lot of studying for this matchup as well. One guy who did a lot of studying for the matchup was also Bravo. We saw him setting up a lot of Widow Mines on that counterattack path, like that backdoor attack path, and he was like taking out a lot of the Zerglings before they hit the back of his base, and that's part of the reason why he did hold on for so long, but eventually those lings did get through. Those counterattacks did finally get through because, you know, as they say, a life finds a way, and he found a way in that game, and I'm sure he's going to do today. All 6 of us going for the prediction on Life, not surprising to me at all.
We'll start off with a potential drone kill. Gonna have to extract that one. Hack finding a little bit of harassment. Ooh, Spore Crawler. Ooh. Second Spore Crawler.
Wow. Yeah. Saves them all.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Nice little bit of harassment. A little bit of mineral damage there, I guess you could say. And plus a second Reaper on the way. And a third. So, pretty aggressive Reaper style.
Yeah. I like it, man. You got to get into Life's head. You got to just try to stop him from playing his game, like I was saying before. Queen is out, though. It's going to help out a lot with dealing with these Reapers.
Yeah, trying to trade as much HP for that Queen as possible. Let him regen. Wait for the third Reaper to come back, try and kill that Queen before Link Speed finishes. Will be done pretty quickly, though.
Very, very quick third CC coming down here from Hack. That Overlord is kind of in position, but he's got to move it down a bit. He wants to get that scout.
Maybe a little too worried about these 3 Reapers doing work at the moment. About 10 seconds left until these Lings have speed, and then these Reapers are in a lot of trouble. Let's see if how good Hack's timing is for this. Still being a bit aggressive. Now it's Life's chance to turn things on.
Yeah, good timing from Hack, though. He backs off like right at the last minute. He does save all 3 of those Reapers. Now this kind of gives Life the chance to go for this third base, to maybe look back at the base and say, oh, I've got an Overlord here. I got to move this. And he actually does that right now. And I think he should be able to get that scout.
Yeah, he's going to definitely get the scout. Might, yeah, he's not going to even lose the Overlord for it.
Yep.
1 Marine going to come out, and that's it. So it looks like it's going to be Hellion Banshee.
Ooh. Baneling Knight's coming down already.
Yeah, maybe paranoid in case it was a sort of a Hellbat timing attack. Which can be the case when you do see Marines being made, plus a Starport on the way.
He's making more Lings, though.
Okay, maybe he's just going for a kill in the standard sort of Life fashion. He did see the 3rd CC. He's like, okay, I guess I can just kill you with Lings.
He's like, no, you can't do that. You can't just do that. No, I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah, you can't do that against me. Haven't you seen me play against, like, any Terran?
Do you know who I am? This isn't terror in the booth. This is Life.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Hellion Reaper going to look for that 3rd base. Might be able to do some damage to it, but that's about it. If they get caught out, the game is essentially over. So he's got to be so careful.
Oh, my God.
So careful.
There's a lot of Lings that just have not been scouted yet from Hack. I don't think he has any idea. He's just kind of going through the motions. He's like, okay, I'm going to put some pressure on the 3rd base.
He has absolutely no idea. And if the Lings can get the kill on these, it just opens up the game. Or he could just simply bypass them and go for, Baneling Bust.
Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's not even going to worry about that 3rd base. He knows that all the units of Hack are totally out of position. And here we go. Not even a wall set up.
Ooh, only thing is 3 Hellions on the ramp, for the moment at least. And he's going to morph some Banelings at the bottom of the ramp.
All of those SCVs at the natural, they can't mine. They're all going to go down. They can run as long as they want, but these are Speedlings. All of the units are coming back right now. And these Banelings, I don't know, maybe a little bit too aggressive with it, although he does get the reactor and 1 supply depot.
If you get us around here, it's going to be huge, but Hellbats are out now, so I think Life has to drone up from here. Go into the defensive mode, at least until he's got mutas on the map.
Yeah, well, still, he did so much damage, He totally disrupted the mining at that natural. It's not even mining right now. Killed 14 SCVs. Now Hack is down to 27. He does have those 3 CCs. That is one thing to note.
Yeah, he can catch it. He can catch up with Mules, and maybe he can find some decent Banshee damage here. At least he's going to kind of ward off this Baneling Ling attack. From here, Life essentially just has to stabilize from his end, get the economy up and running, solidify that economic lead, get the creep spread out. This is going to be Lisks, and he should be fine.
Even gets that double Evo down. Look at this. Hack is totally supply block. He's making 5 supply depots at the moment. He's just struggling to get his base back together, whereas Life, he's got total map control. He's totally fine. There's no harass coming on his side of the map. He's just like getting all his upgrades, droning up a bunch. He's got the Spore Crawlers on the way. This guy's going to be totally fine.
Yeah, I definitely don't see him taking any damage whatsoever. And 4 Queens at that 3rd base, soon to be 5, plus Banelings on the way, plus Spores nearly finished. He's not going to find really anything here.
Yep, 5 Queens now.
Life is just looking way too good for Hack.
That's kind of what it's looking like right now. Trying to focus down those Banshees. He does grab one. One of the Queens is going to go down, but he does have a lot of transfuses back there. Keeps that 4th one alive.
And we are actually going to see Hack go into Mech, I believe. Okay, so he's going to go into Mech from here, but man, he is so far behind. And looking at what Life has so far, he doesn't know it's going to be Mech. He's going to maybe get a little bit surprised by this, but I think Life is so far ahead with economy alone that it won't matter, really.
Yeah. You could go with like a kind of inefficient composition, but just have too much stuff that it really just doesn't matter, maybe.
Yeah, essentially. He should be just fine. He's already taken his 4th base. Really, he just has to scramble for a Roach Warren when he does find out that it is going to be Mech. And from there, like, Muta, Roach, and then he can go into the late game pretty comfortably.
Does make that Roach Warren as well as Infestation Pit. And he also has that Spire coming down. This Reaper actually gets a full scout of the entire base. He's like, oh, okay, I know exactly when your buildings are coming down, what kind of tech you have at the moment. So,
yeah,
at least a decent scout by Hack.
He'll know he has to go for Thors, essentially, and Tarts, and be like going for that anti-air style. He's got a long window before he has to really worry about the ground, so he can get away with avoiding tanks for now. It's actually a pretty important scout and really keeps him in the game.
Life's got like 6 Banelings over there at that third base. There's more than enough defense here at the front of the natural, but he's kind of just keeping them, maybe waiting for the SCV transfer.
Look at this. Like delays it. He's like, well, I guess I just lose these Banelings now.
Go Banelings!
A little damage. Bit of damage.
He was able to explode one of them on the Hellions.
I don't know
Very
if that
nicely done.
It's like 150 gas and minerals for those 6 Banes. Oh well.
You got Swarm Host on the way.
Yeah, not a bad choice, but he's gonna have to worry about this sort of push coming across the map. Might not even be expecting Hack to be this aggressive this early.
Yeah, wow, this is actually just a ton of units right now, and Lings are not going to be the answer here. Swarmos, I mean, they can buy you some time, but he's only got 4 on the map right now. He's trying to bust out a lot of these roaches. They got to come out of Alharva.
Yeah, he should be able to beat this off pretty quickly. The only problem really is the Banshees, I guess. He doesn't really have any air with this ground army of his. He could maybe find some damage even at that 4th base.
Life just buying time, pushing him back with the Locust. And we do see Hack see this 4th base. He is coming down trying to set up. This is a lot of Zerg coming from behind. Oh, but the Hellbats transition, that is a ton of Hellbats, man.
I don't know if it'll be enough there. Nice splitting on the Roaches to avoid the Seeker Missile. The only problem is the Banshees here, but 2 Queens are on the way. And Hack won't find much more from here. That was pretty much the only threat that he had to really deal with. Ooh. He's seeing 3 tanks at a time. He needs to get a lot of tanks out before these almost get anywhere near his bases.
Yeah, we already see Life nearing maxed at this point in time, making a lot more Swarmos, and even 4 Queens at a time. I guess just to defend against those Banshees, just to make sure he's safe right now.
Yeah, usually with Swarmos, you will want a lot of creep spread as well. It really help out a lot. Obviously, getting them across the map, keeping them defended, and keeping Queens on the map too to help transfuse and to defend against these Banshees. If he's going to avoid going for Hydras, then he's going to have to get his Queens out on the map.
It's more and more Storm hosts on the way, man. What do you think about the style against Mac?
Yeah, I think considering the situation as well, like you can go for a very heavy Swarm host style. Obviously going to Vipers beyond that to deal with the tanks that are going to be made, but because we only have Hack on 3 bases, the map is still very open in terms of like it hasn't been cut in half or anything like that from Hack because he did get so far behind economically. Life has a big window to do kind of whatever he wants and kind of try and hard counter what he can. And we are just seeing, yeah, just mass Swarm hosts. He's got about, how many has he got so far? 8, 16? 16, that's probably all he wants to make. And from here, he just needs to trade with the army. He's pretty much immune to any sort of push across the map that Hack can do from this point. And it's just about getting those Vipers. And here we go, 2 on the way.
Yeah, getting those Vipers, getting those bases up. Looks like he's even going to go into Infestors, getting the upgrade for their energy. You see the beginnings of a turret ring here in the main. Fortunately, no air units just yet besides those 2 Vipers, but they're not going to be going towards the main. But just to be safe, Hack going for that. He's got a decent tank count at this point in time. He's got 12.
Yeah, definitely more than enough to actually deal with this. But oh, looks like he's going to trade out some roaches for these, which is pretty efficient.
Yeah, he didn't even actually lose that many roaches in that trade.
I mean, he's just replenishing them with Lings and Infestors, actually. Pretty interesting. You definitely don't see that many Infestors in this kind of composition. Maybe later on when you're dealing with like a giant air army, they're more common and whatnot. But it looks like he will use them, probably to try and get infested Terrans on top of these tanks, as well as deal with the Banshees and fungal like Viking balls if he can.
We got a bit of a counterattack coming towards the front of the natural. There is 1 tank in position and some units coming back. A Banshee going to be very helpful in keeping that attack back. But at the same time, he does move his army out of position a little bit. And there's just not that many tanks. These Locusts getting pretty close. He's got to be pretty careful about that.
Yeah. He kind of has the DPS to do it so long as all the tanks are in position to wipe out these Locusts before they can get on top of anything. And with this planetary, it's going to be up eventually unless it gets cancelled right now. It'll also help buffer this. But yeah, still maybe just a few too many Locusts with these tanks. And if we did see the Vipers come in here and start abducting them or even Blinding Cloud, definitely get him out of position and possibly deal with this planetary.
Ooh, nice rounds here. Going to take away that annoying, harassing Hellion Force that was going towards that 4th and gold base over here. Making a huge swell of Lings.
Wow, that is a lot of Lings.
No Adrenal Glands yet, right? I mean,
I don't
he does
think
have
so.
that Hive up, but...
Yeah, maybe focusing on other things for the moment. Yeah, I don't believe he does have it. Yeah, he does not. Looks like he might try and jump on top of them with the Lings. Here we go.
Here we go. A ton of Lings pushing forward with the Locust. The Blinding Clouds on all the tanks. Even a Fungal on all the Vikings at the same time.
Wow.
And more Infested Terrans pushing forward. I think he's just going to totally wipe out this huge mech army.
Going to do a good trade with it at the very least. It's going to really open up this gold base for these Locusts to deal with the planetary now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's 9 tanks on the map, but where are they? They weren't with that force. And look at this planetary. It's getting pretty low.
We'll survive for now. There should be enough tanks to maybe hold them off. Maybe. So many Locusts in the creep this far forward. They're always going to have a great kind of engagement with these Lings jumping on top of the tanks as well.
Yeah, just pushing forward, you know, opening up a small window for the Locust to come in and get a couple more shots on those tanks. And a lot of those tanks are low. He saved a lot of his infestors at the same time. He's taking hack space above his main. Life's got total control of this game right now.
Yeah, I really love the addition of Lings in this composition of his, because he kind of just uses this problem that Zerg's kind of run into in the late game where they have too many minerals and no gas. So he's found a good way to kind of equalize that by making all these Lings to buffer and kind of tie up the tanks, because obviously the last thing at this point that the Terran wants to do is make more Hellbats to kind of buffer for these tanks. He wants to be investing in all these other useful units with his supply. These Lings, they kind of jump in there, take a bunch of hits, get the Locust even further in, and with Blinding Clouds like he had, he's going to trade very efficiently.
Yeah, it's just all about continuously trading. He's even going for small counterattacks. Look at this. It looks like he might just trade with a lot of the SCVs down at that port mining base.
He's just going to kill the planetary. I like this.
Yep, he's just going to go ahead and roll straight into that.
Oh,
man.
no.
He just barely misses it.
Oh.
That's pretty huge, actually. He traded a lot of Banelings there.
That was a lot of money. Damn, that is rough, unfortunately. And we are going to see first-person view. We haven't seen this in a while, actually, Valdez.
This is actually the timing that I like. It's not like during a main fight, but it's when it's late enough that you can see both these guys macroing and going for counterattacks and stuff like that.
We're just seeing the multitasking of these players, especially Life, because he's the one that has to find a way in, right? He's trying to jump on everything at once. We do see him around that right side, looking for more damage at that bottom right base. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? In Legacy of the Void, these Lings are actually going to prove to be much more of a problem in this kind of composition, because they will have those Adrenaline Glands just do so much more for the Zerglings. He probably could have got that planetary just with Lings alone. They're so strong.
Yeah, man. Hack kind of holding on here for a pretty long time, but you can tell even just looking at the creep down there in the bottom left on Life's view, you can see even that base that he's taken. Hold that thought. He is going to go for a big attack here. Ultras in the front. The Blinding Clouds come down, and a ton of Infested Terrans pushing forward, trying to bug out those tanks. And oh man, even some Lings in the mix. How that's kind of out of position here. And decent trade.
Yeah, once again, you know, there's a pretty decent trade. Look at the bank of Life to the bank of Hack. There is no bank for Hack. He's got no money. He's spending everything he can just to try and remax.
Yeah. Now you guys can see that up there. Life's almost at 3K at this point, maxed out. Totally sailing through this game. This is looking a little bit like that other game versus Bravo, just like different compositions, you know? Where it's like Life can't quite kill him, but he's doing pretty much everything right, and it's like taking a bit of time.
I mean, when you look at it though, Hack is still pretty safe. He's even making a planetary on the right side to completely block that off. So he's essentially stabilizing each time. He's taking a big chunk of his money with him every time Life attacks, but he's not dead yet, and he could actually go into that late game composition for Terran if he can just get enough money together.
Well, that's the problem, right?
That is the problem. He's like spending everything he can just to stay alive, and Life just keeps whittling him down. This time he's going to have Ultras involved.
Yep, a bunch of Ultras. 5 Ultras coming in here. Nice snipe on the Viper. There only one Blinding Cloud going to come down. Doesn't hit much. And a lot of the tanks on the left side actually doing a bunch of DPS. Really cutting down the Zerg force.
Oh, yeah. These Ultras did not find their place. They kind of bugged out a lot on top of these infested Terrans, actually. It's a bit of a problem. He's going to trade a bit. Still going to have a healthy bank for Life, but not the damage he wanted to find there.
Yeah. Finally, these Ravens coming out, going to help a ton with their PDDs against all those Locusts coming out.
Yeah, he really needs something besides his Grand Army that keeps getting traded out like it is, because Life still got a long way to go before he runs out of money, or is even close to running out of money.
Yeah.
Hack, you know, his gold base almost gone, his third base almost gone, his natural practically gone, main obviously gone. Bottom right, still pretty luscious. A long way to go there, but that's his only base essentially.
He's running out of time, running out of bank. He's trying to go for a little Hellion run by. This is pretty cute, but there's not many drones at the space. There's only 3 right now, so maybe he can get some of the larva, but not going to be too effective. Life should be able to clean that up. More Locusts pushing through. As long as you can trade those free units for as long as possible, you're going to be quite fine. You see a lot of Banshees actually being made right now by Hack, 3 at a time.
Yeah. Not a bad choice considering the composition we do see from Life. But here we go again. More Infested Terrans coming out. Yeah, not finding too much.
Yeah, not much. One Viper goes forward and gets a couple of Blinding Clouds. He wanted to do that first before pushing in, but it's not quite able to get that full push on. Look at that creep, man. It's right up to the front doorstep.
He literally can't get it any further because there's tanks in range. So
yeah.
It's like he got it all the way he could, except for that maybe the right side, but he's too preoccupied trying to just trade it out, these free units.
He scans here, sees that all the gas at that base is being taken right now by Life, and has been taken for a long time now, actually.
Yeah, but we do see Hack finally maxed out as well, so maybe, just maybe, he will start to try and push his way out. Not going to be easy there. Not with this many Infestors. Infestors, Ultras, and Swarm Hosts constantly pushing in on this gold.
Couple of Ultralists here on vacation, just enjoying the view. Not doing their job, though. Those two would definitely help out Life here if they were in the army. Scan coming down, and he sees the attack coming his way. Locust, Ultras, and Lings pushing forward. Infestors in the back, trying to get down those Infested Terrans. Some Fungals actually on the Banshees there.
Oh, man.
But again, not the greatest trade.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cost inefficient for Life this time. He kind of, it was like water on rocks, man. Nothing really died. We do see Life making 7 Ultras behind this and a ton of Lings, so that was kind of a big dip in his bank. He's got to find another way in, whether it be he goes sort of air heavy. He could very well go air heavy against this. There isn't that many Vikings or Ravens just yet. He wanted to go into Mutas maybe, or just Corrupt or Broodlord or something. Anything?
Well, he's definitely got the bank for it, but he's got to be careful, you know? If he does go for that kind of push, he needs to make sure that he's either going to win the game or at least have a lot of bank to follow it up, because a lot of Mutas like that are expensive. Some Banshees coming in here with Cloak.
Yeah, he needs something for these guys. I don't know against this many tanks. When you're up against 21 tanks all set up with planetaries and missile turrets around them, and Banshees, Hellbats to defend, you might want to think about a different composition. But here we go again. Life going to try and find his way in.
Really nice fungal on all the area units, but he's not able to combo that.
Oh,
and all of those, 9 Ultras that he had in total kind of just melting. He saves 2 of them.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, fellas. I'm kind of worried that he might want to try a different composition against this. Especially now that Hack is really catering towards the anti-ground army, making more tanks and making 3 Banshees at a time. I mean, he's definitely committing to this hard. There could be an opportunity there where Life just goes for that hard tech switch.
He goes for 11 Infestors, and that's really expensive on the gas. Seems like he just wants to stick to this composition for now, at least. And as our observer was pointing out to us, Hack is running out of money, man. He lost that gold base. The only base he's got is that one on the bottom right, and even that one is getting low. Half of the patches are gone.
Yeah, it's on 5 patches, and it's not going to last very long either. It's going to be down to 3 in just a second, so Hack is really going to have to find a way out.
Seems like this is his answer for now. Just coming in here with a lot of Banshees. 6 cloaked Banshees right now, making 3 at a time. Trying to snipe at hatcheries, snipe some tech.
Yeah, well, it's going to do a lot of damage, actually. It looks like he's going to try and claim the Hive, which is a big issue here. Wow. Fest is going to come in, but they're going to be very cost inefficient.
Ooh, the scan coming in. Those guys are really weak. A lot of them being sniped out here. And really nice spread here, actually, by Hack on all those Banshees. Another scan coming down and all those expensive Infestors. trading here not so efficiently, but at least he's getting rid of these Banshees for now.
Yeah, if he wasn't losing Infestors for it, it'd be super like cost efficient, but I think he lost like 4, maybe 3.
I mean, the one thing he's got going for him is that he still just has that massive bank, and Hack pretty much has got not much in terms of future bank. I mean, he's got 16,000 gas, so that's going to be it pretty much.
Yeah, he's going to have to try and take this bottom, like this left base above his main. Like, that's, I think, his best chance. Push out there, try and recede the creep and take it, unless he just wants to try and go for a kill. And it looks like he is going to finally start to push forward here.
Big scan coming down. A lot of these air units coming in as well. Where are the Fungals? It looks like Life is just going to concede this ground for now.
He's sacking it for now. This is going to be the opportunity for Hack to get out there. And, you know, the Infestors don't even have that much energy either because he had to deal with those Banshees.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. He's got 11 in total, but he needs more time. It looks like he's going to go in. Really nice Blinding Clouds on the front tanks for now, and a lot of Lings and Ultras pushing forward. All of these tanks are bunched up. Some Fungals coming in as well. The Ultras, though, kind of bugging out, and even the Infested Terrans blocking the Ultras for a minute there.
Yeah, that's the problem we did see in the last fight as well. These Infested Terrans are just getting in the way. Like, this is very common for Ultras to kind of bug out in the eggs.
16 Festers on the way.
Yeah, man. I don't know about this, but he is dealing with a lot of air from Hack, so this could be one reason why. But man, I wish he went for Corruptors at some point. And we are seeing 6 finally, but they're going to be 0-0 Corruptors because he has not invested anything into air until now.
Yeah, bit of a problem. He's had so much bank he could have been using on some upgrades just in case this went down. And because of all these Banshees getting so much damage done, it pushes the entire army back. And now that base you were talking about towards the left side could be Hacks in a minute here.
Could very well be. It looks like we are going to see a counterattack from Life into the empty planetary. And I don't think Life has realized just how starved Hack is at this point.
He's picking off a lot of tanks. That's some pretty decent damage. He's going to get that planetary down as well. He loses that base. There's a lot of minerals there. Could be Hack's lifeline towards the later parts of this game.
Yeah, we really... I'm still like... for sure certain that we should see like a Muta switch at some point. I think it'd just be the glorious sort of ending that we've been waiting for. There's only 10 Vikings out and 5 Ravens that have no energy. Like, this would be the time to do it if you wanted to simply deal with the tanks and secure that bottom left base again. But at the same time, you know, it's always going to be scary if Thors can come out. But currently with the money and the income that Hack has, he can't make any Thors.
Yeah. Sitting at 160 to supply. He's actually starved for minerals at this point in time. So making some Ravens. And Hack's got to wait here. You know, he has cleaned up a lot of those tumors, but it takes a little bit of time for that creep to recede. So as of right now, the only mineral income he's got is like the one patch in the bottom right. He's hanging on for dear life, man.
Yeah, he is definitely struggling at this point. Still just investing in nothing but Hellions, you know, Ravens, really avoiding anything that could deal with air. He knows that Life is essentially tunnel vision in this kind of unit composition. Might be a bad thing for Life, but he does have some Corruptors this time, which is going to help out.
So pretty nice. Trading some of these Hellions for drones. They will be cleaned up.
We see 19 Infestors on the map currently. That is a lot of Infested Terrans.
Pretty insane.
So
looks like he may want to go for an attack here. No?
Yeah, it's like he's gearing up for it. We've really smartly seen Hack always start focus firing these Infestors whenever they come close, which has really kept the numbers down, and I think has done so well for Hack in surviving this far. And once again, getting some very important scans off. And here we go.
Coming in from 2 sides right now, the left and the right. Some Blinding Clouds coming down. All of those Infested Terrans. And even some Fungals coming in. So many Infestors on the right side. Nice scan, though. And those tanks are going to start getting to work. But look at that. So much of the Terran army being taken out here by all of those Infested Terrans. He forces the orbital to land at the same time. And he's got a huge follow-up from this. I mean, Life, he has spent his entire bank. Hack right now down to about 100 supply. But it's going to take a while for him to replenish that army, whereas Life, he's gearing up for another attack. All those mules are dropped, but they can't mine.
They can't mine anymore. Yeah, that's only 9 tanks. Half of them out of position for this. One Banshee on 5 HP, and that's it, man. Like, he's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was comparing it to the Bravo game, because Hack, he was just hanging on for so long. He was doing a decent job of it, but finally, Life has been able to choke him out, it seems at this point at least.
Yeah, it took all of his life's money, mind you. Like, it took a long time and a lot of resources to get this far.
Here we go, Ling's in the front to tank for the Ultras. Some of those tanks not even seized up at the right time. More Infestors and a nice fungal on all those air units. And I think this entire Terran army is just going to be squashed, man.
Yeah, looks like it.
GG. Life takes a long one, but he takes the win here for KT Rolster.
Very solid game. I love his kind of ZVT style. It's definitely an original one at that. With all his Ling play, Ultra play, and Infesta play. You don't see normally Zergs kind of go that route to deal with it. But it works.
Yeah.
It works, eventually.
Life creates his own style, man. This guy doesn't follow the rules. He just does whatever he thinks is right at that moment in time in the game to just win. That's exactly what he did. KT now up 1-0.